Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be checking out some seriously cool inventions today, especially ones that are shaking things up and how we think about things like sustainability and efficiency.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
It's not just about, cool gadgets and gizmos anymore.
right.
There's a real shift happening towards, well, a more responsible approach to how we invent things, one that considers both how practical something is and how it impacts the environment.
Totally. And speaking of responsibility, one of the first things that really grabbed my attention in this video we're looking at, it's called 25 Brilliant Inventions on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, it's a wild ride. But one of the first things that really stood out was this whole idea of using drones to fight wildfires.
Yeah.
But get this, they're dropping self-igniting ping pong balls to create controlled backfires.
Oh, wow.
It sounds kind of crazy.
It does. But when you think about it, it's actually a remarkably efficient way to manage those huge wildfires.
Right.
I mean, compared to the traditional ways of doing backfires, which, can be slow and take a lot of manpower, these drones can do it way faster and with a lot more precision. Imagine being able to target exactly where you want the fire to go and create those fire breaks so accurately.
It's like using a scalpel instead of a chainsaw, right?
Precisely.
And, speaking of drones, this video goes way beyond just like dropping off your Amazon packages.
Right.
We're talking about drones that can collect rare plants from cliffs, plant trees super fast, and even transport people.
Yeah, drones are proving to be so incredibly versatile, like across so many different fields. For example, they were showing this Mamba drone they're using in Hawaii.
I saw that.
They got this delicate little robotic arm that can carefully pluck those endangered plant cuttings from like these really steep cliff faces. It's helping to save these species that we might have lost otherwise.
It's really amazing how technology can help us protect the environment in these innovative ways. And then there's this Australian startup that's using drones to plant trees at an insane rate, something like 40,000 trees a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're using these biodegradable seed pods too. So it's like environmentally friendly from beginning to end.
That's amazing. It's a real game changer in the fight against deforestation. And not only are they planting that many trees that quickly, they're doing it in a really smart way, to give each seedling the best chance of survival.
Yeah, it's like giving Mother Nature a helping hand, but at a scale we've never seen before. And it doesn't stop there. This video also shows this drone plane hybrid thing, the Tetramark 5 it's called, made in Japan.
Oh, yeah, that thing's crazy.
Yeah. Can you imagine a vehicle that can take off vertically like a drone and then just seamlessly switch to flying horizontally like a plane?
It's pretty wild. It really blurs the line between what we think of as traditional aircraft and drone technology.
Yeah.
The Tetramark 5 uses 32 of those drone-like engines for vertical lift, and then once it's up, a rear propeller kicks in to give it horizontal flight, reaching speeds of like 100 miles per hour.
And get this, you can actually buy one of these hybrid aircraft. Of course, you'd need a pilot's license, but the fact that it's even available to buy just shows you how fast this technology is developing.
It really is a sign of the times. The world of aviation is changing so rapidly, and it feels like there's constantly something new and amazing coming out.
Absolutely. Okay, now, switching gears a bit, let's talk about a different kind of flight, one powered by the sun.
Oh, yeah.
The video highlights these solar-powered planes that they say could potentially stay in the air for, like, weeks, even months at a time. Is that, like, really a feasible concept?
It is. It really is. Solar-powered flight has come such a long way in recent years. Imagine planes just cruising silently way up high in the stratosphere, powered entirely by the sun. No emissions, smoother flights, and the ability to stay up there for extended periods.
Yeah.
It's a game changer for things like long flights, scientific research, even communication networks.
Yeah, it sounds like science fiction, but it's becoming our reality.
It is.
And it's not just airplanes that are getting this green makeover. The video shows this incredible 348-foot sailing super yacht.
Oh, I saw that. It's beautiful.
Gorgeous, right. And it uses underwater turbines to make electricity while it's sailing. Talk about sustainable luxury.
It really shows how we can bring green technologies into even the most luxurious areas. This super yacht, it's still being developed, but it demonstrates that we can have opulence and environmental responsibility at the same time. Imagine sailing around the world, powered by the wind, while enjoying all the comforts of a five-star hotel.
That's the dream right there. It's a perfect blend of innovation and sustainability, and it's not limited to super yachts either. You know those massive container ships? Well, the video shows them using these giant rotating masts, they call them rotor sails, and while they might look a bit intimidating, they're actually there to help cut down on fuel consumption and emissions by using wind power.
Yeah, it's all about working with nature, not against it. And those rotor sails are actually pretty clever. They utilize what's called the Magnus effect to create extra thrust. Basically, the spinning cylinders interact with the wind to generate a force that pushes the ship forward. Such a simple concept, but it makes a huge difference.
I love that. It's so cool how these inventions are finding ways to work in harmony with nature. And okay, this one's for the adrenaline junkies out there. The video shows a motorcycle that actually crossed the Bosporus Strait on water. The guy who did it, Robbie Madison, is quite the daredevil, huh?
He is. But it takes more than just bravery to do something like that. You need some serious engineering, too.
Yeah.
They modified that motorcycle, gave it water skis, special tires that are like paddles, and shock absorbers. It basically became a machine that could skim across the water like a speedboat.
It just goes to show you, human ingenuity really has no limits. And speaking of pushing boundaries, they then introduce this inflatable catamaran in the video, and it can go from water to land without any hiccups.
Yeah. Imagine exploring a lake or a river
Yeah.
and then just driving right up onto the shore to keep going. The possibilities with that are endless.
Right. It's like having the best of both worlds in one awesome package. Speaking of different worlds, let's dive into the virtual one for a minute. The video showcases this exoskeleton suit that basically takes those VR experiences to a whole new level.
I've heard of that
Yeah,
one.
it makes them like physically immersive.
It's where virtual reality starts to actually feel real. The suit simulates all those physical sensations, like if you were falling or feeling an impact, even water resistance. Imagine actually experiencing the thrill of a roller coaster or floating in space, but you're just in your living room. It opens up so many doors for gaining, training, even therapy.
I know, right? It feels like we're on the verge of something huge. And speaking of huge, they then show this AI paper device. It's thinner than a credit card, but they say it has incredible resolution and battery life.
That's amazing.
Could this be like the future of e-readers?
It very well could be. Technology is constantly improving, and that AI paper definitely pushes the boundaries. It's so much lighter than a tablet, uses way less energy, and the reading experience is fantastic. It's perfect for anyone who loves to read but also wants to minimize their environmental impact.
It's a beautiful blend of cutting-edge tech and eco-consciousness. Now, get ready to be blown away, because we're going microscopic. The video then showcases these incredibly detailed models of satellites, but they're made with 3D printing.
We're talking details you can only see under a microscope.
3D printing is getting ridiculously precise these days. By using lasers and a special light-sensitive resin, they can create these models with insane detail. It really showcases how far 3D printing has come and the potential it has to revolutionize so many industries. It's mind-boggling to think about. Okay, from the microscopic world, let's dive into the ocean. The video highlights this device they call the Triton, and it harnesses the power of waves to make electricity. Is wave energy a viable way to get renewable power, do you think?
Absolutely. The Triton is a perfect example of how we can tap into the immense power of the ocean. It has a pretty simple design, a float, and a plate that dampens the wave movement to capture that wave energy and convert it into electricity. Just imagine, coastal communities could be powered by the very waves that crash on their shores. It's a clean, sustainable source of energy with a ton of potential.
It's incredible how we can take something as powerful and consistent as the ocean's waves and turn it into usable energy. Okay, from the ocean, let's hop onto the rails. The video features this hydrogen-powered train that just broke records by traveling over 1,700 miles on a single tank.
Wow, that's the Stadler Flirt H2, and it's a major step forward for sustainable transportation. It uses these things called hydrogen fuel cells to make electricity, and the only things it emits are steam and water. That's the future of trains right there, clean, quiet, and super efficient.
It's amazing. And get ready for this next one, because it might surprise you. They show how they're building homes out of straw. It sounds crazy, but apparently these panels made from straw and wood are super strong, safe, and eco-friendly.
You know, it might sound a bit unconventional, but straw bale construction is actually becoming more and more popular, and for good reason. Those panels provide excellent insulation, they're fire-resistant, and they're incredibly sustainable. They're a fantastic alternative to those traditional building materials, and it shows how we can build in a much more environmentally friendly way.
I never would have thought of straw as a building material, but it makes so much sense. It's just fascinating how these simple natural materials can be used to create really sustainable solutions. And that's not all. The video wraps up with a rapid-fire showcase of all these clever inventions that are meant to improve our everyday
Oh,
lives.
I love
Me
those.
too. They showed everything from these shock-absorbing stilts and a pressure washer attachment to a folding bike with foldable wheels.
It's a great reminder that innovation isn't always about these big life-altering inventions. Sometimes it's about the little things, those everyday improvements that just make life a bit easier, safer, or more fun. It's about being creative and finding solutions to those daily challenges. And it's amazing how many of these everyday inventions focus on safety,
Oh yeah, for sure.
like that height detection system they showed for trucks.
Right.
Such a simple thing, but it could prevent so many accidents.
It's like they looked at all those little things that bug us in our daily lives and came up with really clever solutions.
Uh,
Like, remember that windshield wiper for motorcycle helmets?
Yeah.
Genius.
No more struggling to see in the rain.
Exactly. And it shows how innovation can happen in the smallest details,
It does.
that's happening all around us, constantly pushing the limits of what's possible.
Absolutely.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, everything from drones and airplanes to super yachts and even motorcycles that can cross water.
I know, right?
It's incredible to see just how creative people can be.
It really is. And that's what I love about these kinds of discussions. It's like we're getting a glimpse into the future.
I know, it's so exciting.
We're seeing how technology is being used to solve real-world problems, make our lives better, and create a more sustainable world. It's really inspiring,
It really gets you thinking, what will they come up with next?
right?
Yeah.
There's always something new and amazing just around the corner.
I can't wait to see it. Out of all the inventions we've talked about today, which one really stood out to you?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know, right? There are so many good ones.
I think what really struck me was how many of these inventions combine technology and sustainability.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're not just solving a problem, they're doing it in a way that's mindful of the planet.
That's a really important point.
It gives me hope for the future.
Yeah, me too. It feels like we're entering an era where innovation and responsibility go hand in hand.
Exactly. We're not just inventing for the sake of inventing. We're inventing with a purpose, with the goal of making the world a better place. And that's something we need to celebrate and encourage.
Absolutely. So, to our listener out there, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Which invention from today's deep dive resonated with you the most, and why?
What does it say about your interests or the kind of future you'd like to see? Tell us in the comments.
We're really interested to hear your thoughts, share your perspective, join the conversation, and let's keep exploring this incredible world of innovation together.
Definitely.
And before we wrap up, we want to leave you with one final thought, something to ponder as you go about your day.
We've seen some truly amazing inventions today, solutions to problems both big and small. But what about the challenges you face in your own life?
Right.
If you could invent anything at all, to make your day a little easier, a little safer, or just more enjoyable, what would it be?
That's a great question. It's easy to get caught up in all the amazing things other people are creating, but each of us has that creative spark inside. What problem are you going to tackle today?
Maybe it's a simple gadget that helps you get ready faster in the morning, a new way to stay organized, or maybe it's a groundbreaking invention that changes the world. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to think big and let your imagination run wild.
It really is amazing to think about,
It is.
how we all have the potential to come up with something
Yeah.
that can really make a difference.
Absolutely. Even those simple ideas sometimes, they can turn into those really impactful solutions.
That's so true. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive into these brilliant inventions.
Yeah. It's been a fascinating journey, hasn't it? Exploring the world of innovation.
It has. We saw everything from drones putting out those wildfires to houses made of straw and motorcycles that, practically walk on water.
I know, right?
It's really incredible to see how human ingenuity is being used to solve all these problems, big and small.
What's really exciting to see is that trend towards sustainable technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like more and more inventors are realizing that they can create things that are good for both people and the planet.
It's a really hopeful sign, I think. So to our listener out there, if you could invent something amazing, whether it's something that changes the world or just fixes, A little everyday annoyance, what would it be?
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll feature your idea on a future episode of the Deep Dive.
We'd love to hear it.
Until then, keep those creative sparks flying.
And keep exploring the world with that same sense of wonder and possibility.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.